It's time now to get an insight into the only company in Australia that's involved in V8 supercars and Australian rallying, Britek. Since 2004, Jason Bright has been a very busy man. He went from racing V8 supercars to owning and running his own team. Since its inception, he's built his company, Britek, from a bare shell to what you see today. Everything is done in-house, from the engine building and machine work to paint and panel. So when Ford went looking for someone to build them a competitive Super 2000 car in the NEC Australian Rally Championship, he was the man they turned to.
At the time when I was setting up Britek, I was sort of looking at what Ford was doing in world rallying and thought that it would be good to run a Focus or a Fiesta in the Australian Rally Championship, and at the same time Ford set up their Focus Rally program, and I thought I'd missed the boat a little bit there, but fortunately the opportunity came up, and we were able to put together the Fiestas for them for this year.
Last year, Ford's entry into the series was largely experimental, but the car they had chosen, the Focus, was not the machine they had hoped it would be, and a new plan was drawn together. Late in 2005, and under a very challenging time frame, Bright's company was handed the job of having to build a brand new car from the ground up, and the Fiesta was seen as a more suitable option. An experienced crew was put together in the workshop, and Britek quickly became immersed in Australian rallying. But intelligently, the team sought out all the right pieces from some of the most knowledgeable companies in the world to help make the deadline.
When we were building the S2000 cars, we had to look at how we were going to get to the first race, and we're on a pretty tight time frame. I think we had 17 weeks to sort of get two cars, from absolutely nothing and pulling together the guys to the first rally in Queensland, and so we had to look at what we were going to have to do to try and make that happen, and yes, we did have communication with Jos Capito at Ford Motorsport in England, and had a lot of dealings with M Sport to sort of buy some shells and mount tune, obviously, to get the engines done. And without that support, we would never have made the first race. It's not to say that we wouldn't like to sort of do a lot more in-house on the next cars, and we certainly will. But to get to the first race, once again, if we had to try and do all of that in-house, we probably wouldn't have made Queensland Rally.
The newly formed team has certainly had to gel together quickly to overcome all the setbacks that have arisen during their first three events. Due to the extreme conditions these cars are put through, teething problems were to be expected. But after some fast stage times and good early pace, reliability is now the key.
It's an exciting little car. It's light, it's very fast. When the package works, it works really well, and I think being the first Ford Fiesta in the world, it's performing quite well. So I think once we start getting consistently as good and beating Neil, and we get Simon into a 2000 car, it should be a really exciting championship.
When the cars return after each rally, they are stripped bare, examined, and then rebuilt from the ground up. Now, with the luxury of time, thanks to the mid-season break, all areas of the car are being intensely scrutinised to try and further strengthen and improve the machine. With Toyota setting the benchmark in the competition, the sights have now been set.
Toyota have obviously been in there for quite a while, and they've got a good team together. They've got the right support. We knew that it was going to be a challenge to try and beat them, and the idea was we put together the right sponsorship, the right guys, and the right drivers, and go out there and take them on. And at the end of the day, we've certainly got a challenge to try and beat them. But if it wasn't a challenge, you wouldn't be doing it.